around the house instead of walking because it was more efficient and fun. And so yeah, they put me in gymnastics. I started in level 3, and I did really well my very first season because I already had a lot of the skills I needed. I already had the back handspring and all the things. After my first season though, I moved up a level and I trained, and I expected it to be easy breezy like it was the first year. It was not. It was very difficult, and so I did not do great that season. And so my coach was like, "Hey, we're gonna hold you back a year, and you're gonna repeat this level." And I was like, "Awesome, that's great. I love that." All my friends moved up, and I was really discouraged. I was like, "I'm all by myself now." Anyway, the next year I competed that same level, and I ended up winning states. I was the all-around state champion, and I was like, "Let's go!" And so my coach was like, "All right, let's jump a level, let's get this going." And I was like, awesome. So he put me on a new training schedule, and I would train from 1:30 to 5:30 every day. And it was very difficult, but I loved it for a time. And throughout the next 2 years or so, I started getting injuries like one after another. First it was my ankle, and then it was my shoulder, and then it was my wrist, and then it was my back, and then my head, and all these different things. And I could not perform well at all, and it freaked me out. I was coming home from practice probably crying every single day, if not externally, internally. And I would lay in bed at night and I would cry. I was like, "God, this is really scary," because my parents, they would introduce me as the gymnast or the state champion. And I had realized that I put that label onto myself. And that was who I was. That was my value. So when I couldn't perform, I was like, I'm gonna lose all my friends. My parents are gonna be really upset. So eventually I decided, I was like, I'm gonna quit, because I know that having my identity in this sport is wrong, because this is gonna fade away, even though this was my whole life plan. So on October 8th, 2020, I quit gymnastics. I was 15 years old. I was level 8, and after I quit gymnastics, my life actually became so much worse, because now I didn't have an identity. I had no idea who I was anymore. And so I would just cry and cry every single night, because I felt like my life had no purpose anymore. And I would beg God, I would just say, "Fix me, make my life better. I know I was supposed to quit. Why is my life getting worse?" Nothing changed. In April, I decided that I was done. And so I took my parents' keys and I went to the front door with the plan to crash one of my parents' cars, either into a tree or another car, just roll it off the road. I was done. I was like, forget it, I'm over this. I remember looking at the doorknob in my hand, and then I blacked out, and I felt this really weird sensation in my legs. And the next thing I knew, I was sitting on my bed, and I was like, okay, that's weird, and then I passed out. I have no memory. I woke up the next morning, and I was like, what in the world? And I was a little upset because I wasn't supposed to be there. But something had noticeably changed inside my mental state, and for the first time in about 2 years, I could control my thoughts. For the first time in almost 2 years, I wasn't overtaken by depression. I didn't wake up that morning and wish that I was dead. In that moment, I decided that I wasn't gonna let depression win, and I was never gonna let it get that close to winning ever again. About 2 weeks later, my leader from my youth group texted me and was like, hey, me and some of the girls are gonna do a Bible study this summer. Are you in? It's all about identity. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I went to this Bible study. I didn't miss a single meeting. And throughout the process of learning who I was in Christ, I remember waking up one morning and the depression was gone. I could feel it leave. It's been 4 years. a few days before my birthday this year, which is in April, I felt the Lord prompt me to dedicate this year of my life to telling my story, God's testimony, and preaching the gospel everywhere I go. Because 4 years ago, I wasn't going to be here anymore. And if you're not a slave to God, you are a slave to the world, which is where all that depression and all that junk gets in, and it takes control if you let it. So I decided that I was going to be a slave to the Lord. I'm going to be a slave to Jesus Christ because he is the only thing that is worth it. And you can forget my name. I don't care if you don't remember me at all. But remember this. In the Bible, it says that the enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's real. But this is real also, that Jesus came, that we would have life, and life to the full. So if you're sitting in here today and you don't know whether or not you want to follow Jesus for the rest of your life, do it. Do it. Today is the day of salvation. Give it all to Jesus. Because I promise you he's better. I promise you.